I'm not a proponent of mandating child seat usage in cars. You know, I know everybody said, hey, it's important, child seats protect lives, you know, you have to protect for your baby, they don't know how to protect themselves, you have to be responsible for them. If you put them in child seats and not carry them, they won't fly out of the windscreen and die and all that. Yeah, we know all that. The thing is this, Malaysia is a poor country, alright? There are a lot of people who can't afford a car. They are on bikes, motorcycles or buses and all that, okay? If you look at the fatality rate across the entire year, majority of them are made up by motorcyclists, right? They are the ones who are dying day in and out. Now, maybe a few, right? So, the problem is this, we are still a developing nation with majority of our population and our citizens experiencing high birth rate, right? So, I mean, there are quite a number of demographics where they have more than 3 kids, 3 children or 4 children. Alright? That's the first thing. The second thing is, a car, a standard car, any car, let's say the affordable ones, alright? The Myvis, the Saga and all that, they have a passenger capacity of 5. Alright? So, daddy, mummy, and 3 seat belts at the back for their 3 children, right? Technically speaking, if they enforce rear seat buckling, the 4th child is already sitting in the car illegally because there are no seat belts for him. That's another point. And when we come to car seats, if you enforce car seat usage on child, then we will reduce the capacity of the rear seats from 3 sitting abreast, 3 because there are 3 sets of seat belts, right? If you enforce the usage of child seats, it will become 2. So tell me, a family who is, you know, normal, working for the government, or, you know, a normal job, they have 1 household car, right? They are sick and tired of riding on a motorcycle, you know, under the rain, under the bridge, kena rainwater and all that. So they saved up and finally they afford a car, their very first car that they're very proud of, they're happy with it. And then they have 3 children. And then there comes the law that each children must be placed on a child seat until they are 12 years old. So, are you gonna take them out of their car and put them back on motorcycles because they are doing something illegally, right? So for those of you where your father or mother or your grandpa, grandma had their first car back in the 50s or 60s, when our economy was slowly growing, right? Your grandfather is not put behind jail because he put your father in the back seat with his 4 siblings without seat belts so that he can have you, right? So you guys already had the opportunity of owning a first car, crap shit tin can, you know, any car from 60s or 70s, right? You kena maybe also can squash you, right? What makes you think that you have the rights to take away the rights of a poor family upgrading from a motorcycle to a car? You do not have that right. So do not even be so selfish, be so single-minded and tunnel vision that you propose, you fight for child seats. Because if you want to put your son on the child seat, that's up to you. You can afford a child seat, that's your problem. That is your prerogative, right? But there are a lot of other poor people around and they've just got their car. I tell you, from a motorcycle to a car, you are already saving them, you know, like they are already well protected. That's why I am never a proponent, even though I will advise people, oh, when you're buying a car, if within the same price range, don't buy the one without ESC. But making ESC a law, making airbags a law, all this, right? Maybe you can judge it by a certain price point. Do not, I mean, when you increase the entry price to car ownership using law, then you are putting a lot of people out of that option. You get what I mean or not? So, yeah, that's it. I don't think it's a rant, but it's a point of view. It is a point of view that I would love it if more motorcyclists can, you know, if they accept the usage of a car, and that would be so much safer for them. Do you know, I mean, for people who has driven cars all their lives, who has an option to buy a sports bike and all that, right? You all will never understand how a family with only one motorcycle or two live. You cannot brain that shit. You know why? You have to choose to either buy a bag of rice today or the laundry detergent, because you cannot buy both at the same time. Have you imagined that? That your sole form of transportation device cannot allow you to have either a rice or together, you know, some softener or laundry detergent. They just can't. And you know, people with cars, you can buy the big 20 kilo rice, right? Which is cheaper, right? When you buy 20 kilo, it's cheaper, right? Most motorcyclists cannot enjoy that discount. They have to buy the small pack rice. And then this is rice. Let's talk about something lighter, okay? Tissue rolls. Tissue rolls. How do you expect a motorcyclist to carry a tissue roll safely on their motorcycles? They can't. So be compassionate. Don't just put our perspective and, you know, encourage the government to enforce car seat usage. Yes, it's good. It's good for your son. You do it. Alright? There's no choice because it is safer than on the motorcycle. Yep, end of rant.